Lads, ladies, how are we doing? So in this video, I want to show you how Jesse went from being a software developer at Amazon to a remote high-ticket closer, quitting his job and now traveling the world effortlessly, making money from his laptop, from Zoom, $10,000 a month. My goal at the end of this video is to give you guys enough value that you guys can do the same through these next few steps. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. What is high ticket closing? High ticket closing, what we do is basically we are selling info products online. We're working in the online education space. We're selling coaching, consulting, and agency services. There's two aspects to this. One is you need to develop the skill of sales. We've never done sales before. How we actually develop the skill of sales, and then how do we actually position ourselves as a closer or a consultant, high ticket consultant with a high profile client to be able to sell for them. We make people who make money a lot of money, and then we make money. Okay, you provide value first. So with this, what happened with this situation is basically Jesse came to me. I was living in Mexico at the time, and he came to me and he basically asked me how much I was making. I'd been doing this for a while. I wasn't very vocal about it. It was pretty offline about closing. Been doing it for a number of years now. Asked how much I was making. Once he heard how much I was making, he said he was going to basically come down and stay with me for 10 days. He was a student of the craft, did everything that I told him in those 10 days. He basically watched all my sales calls, watched me close deals live in San Diego, came and saw me. I basically taught him the skill of high ticket closing. From that, he went on to learn over the course of 4 weeks, training, going on mock calls, role plays, and we practiced the skill until he was able to get on his first offer. Okay. When I say offer, what I mean is basically an opportunity to sell for these coaches or consultants. So basically the process is pretty simple. What you have to do is become good at sales. So how do you become good at sales? Either one, you're going to have to get a low-level sales job, okay, which is going to be ass. Nobody wants to do that. Or you invest into some kind of sales training where you can practice this skill with the comfort of a community, with the support of other people who are learning the skill at the same time. And you get on these role-play mock calls and you become good. Okay, you learn how to talk to people, you learn communication skills, you learn persuasion, you learn objection handling, and you learn psychology. Okay, because the way that we sell with high ticket closing is we are not your typical salesman. We're not like your car salesman, software salesman, all this. We are more so like a psychiatrist or a doctor. We ask questions to understand people's problems, understand their pain, understand the solution that they want, and then we provide that bridge. Basically, showed Jesse everything that got me into this space, which was a lot of grinding from the very young age. A lot of different things that people buy in online education space, usually things to make money, usually things to improve their health, or to improve their relationships. So any kind of offers, learning from people who are doing that, who have hundreds of thousands of followers, who have lots of content in the space, people will pay money to fast track to learn from those people. So I'll show you guys a little bit here how we actually get clients, but you do want to train initially, get good at this skill. Once you feel like you can do an entire end-to-end call, when I say an entire end-to-end call, these people are going to be getting DMs, okay, people are responding on their stories, on their content, asking about what they're teaching. Okay, now these busy offer owners, they don't have time to be speaking to every single one of their followers, so it's where we come into play as closers. Okay, so being a good closer is understanding how to represent these people's personal brands, these high-profile clients, how to speak to their people, and how to qualify them and see if they're actually motivated to actually learn the skill set that these coaches have to teach them. Okay, so once you are trained as a closer, once Jesse was trained as a closer, then we got into outreach. So you need to clean up your profile. You need to clean up your Instagram. You need to clean up your Twitter, however you're going to be doing outreach, whatever social platform you're going to be using. You need to clean it up. When I say clean up, what I mean is basically delete any old photos and make it look professional. Okay, put something about high ticket closing in the bio, something about sales, something about you being a hustler willing to work. Okay, make sure your photos show that you are a serious person, that you're willing to work. Take out any drinking photos, any kind of partying photos, and make it clean. Okay, so I'm gonna give you here the basically the playbook on how to get clients as a closer. So how to actually find someone you can close for through DMs. Okay, initially that's how it's gonna be because you have no network in the space to leverage, so you're gonna have to just cold DM. That's how we do it, man. You gotta go through the trenches. That's how I did it. The key to crushing DM outreach is pretty much like this. It's a volume game, okay, and being casual with it. Okay, you cannot find these jobs on Indeed, LinkedIn, or through a resume. These jobs you find from being good at speaking to people, having a good vibe, being chill, building a network in the space, okay, which takes time. Sending 3, 4, 5 messages a day is not enough, okay? You need to be spending every day sending mass amounts of these messages, okay? And that's going to get you your first client. If you're sending between 3 to 5, 10, 15, 20, at least 10 per day, minimum. Ideally 30 to 40, 50 plus is ideal, okay? If you're sending those every single day with a strategic message, You're going to get an offer. You get an opportunity to jump on an interview, you can jump on a call, and then you can sell yourself to sell for these people. There's a ton of opportunities out there. Okay, it's literally limitless out there, man. There's a massive market. The make money online space is huge. It's only growing as more and more coaches emerge, and as more and more people move from the traditional education space, understanding they don't want to learn from a professor that's not living the life they want to live. They want to learn from someone that's actually doing that. They'll pay money to advance that process. So there's tens of thousands of people making content in the world that will hire you. So you want to look for people like that. Okay, and I'll give you guys some examples here. So this is basically what I showed Jesse. These are example offers. So any of these offers, this is a basically an Amazon offer. This is an learn how to build an e-commerce brand offer. This is get into real estate section 8. This is Amazon FBA. This is dog training. I believe this is just general like business coaching. Okay, so all these people you can see here, DM ready, DM the section 8, anything that has a call to action word like this is a good potential brand to reach out to ask to sell for them. Okay, you got to sell yourself to them. And if you notice these little buttons here on the side, these buttons here, if you click this, it will have a drop-down menu that will show a myriad of more, plethora more of these similar accounts below, and you can hit those up as well. Okay, so you want to start to engage with these accounts. You want to start to follow them. You want to start to teach your algorithm to show you these similar type of accounts and get noticed by them. Get in the space. Okay. But what you're going to do is you're going to DM these types of people. Okay. Now there's two ways to do this. You can either DM through a message, through a video, or by sending content back to them. Okay. So there's a lot of ways we can do this, right? But the rules on who to pitch: coaches, consultants, mentors, e-com coaches. We're not pitching content creators. We're not pitching influencers. Okay. We're pitching people that look like they make money. Okay. Because there's a lot of influencers out there that have lots of followers that maybe not making money. Want someone that has an offer that they're selling. Okay. So that we can leverage that and take a small commission from that. So we don't have to spend years building our own massive personal brand. We can leverage what they've already built, their expertise in the space, and we're instantly equated with that value, which is incredible. And you can do this within, a month or two. Okay. Jesse trained with me for 4 weeks. And then his first week after training, he reached out, got his first offer, I believe, within 10 days. His first month, he made $5,000. Within his first 6 weeks, he had made his first $10,000. Okay. And he's making consistently $10,000 now a month plus. Okay. So online entrepreneur, Amazon FBA, agency, e-com, all these kind of things. That's what we want to look for to reach out to. And like I mentioned before, there's a CTA word in the bio. That's ideal. Okay. That's what we want to look for. Okay. What do you want to say? Keep it natural, keep it chill. The reason myself and my students are so successful is we keep a very laid back style. Okay. We're not, we don't have, a stick up our back. Okay. We're very casual with it. Okay. So just be honest with them. Hey man, your content's very inspiring. Like I saw this piece of content. I can tell you put a lot of time into creating this. I'm sure you get a ton of other DMs like this from your following. I'm just curious. Do you have a closer or DM setter to handle those? If not, let's talk. Something simple like that does very well. At the top of your message, you can put in all caps the word marketing or sales, and then drop down and put your message. If you put that, these influencers are scrolling, these coaches are scrolling a ton of messages, and that will pop up and it'll show in their DMs. Okay, it's another little tip you guys can add in there. If they say yes, if they reply, which a lot of times they will, you'd be very surprised. I've gotten responses from people with hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers. Drop them a Calendly link and get on a call with them. Your goal is not to sell yourself in the DMs. Your goal is to sell yourself the call, and then on the call, you will sell yourself. Okay, not everyone's going to say yes to the call, but that's your goal, and that's your first test. And if they don't respond right away, follow up with them. Okay, come back to them the next day. Come back to them a couple of days later, because if you don't follow up with them trying to get the offer, how can they expect you to follow up with their prospects? So you need to be good at following up. And it's a volume game. If you send 300, 400 DMs, you will get your first client an offer. That's a guarantee. Okay. You just have to be a skilled closer then to prove yourself, and you need to be good at persuasion, communication, and sales. That's pretty much it. So that is how you get your client. When you get your client, it doesn't stop there. That's just where it begins. And then from that point on, it's really, at the beginning, you're going to have to fake it till you make it, to build that experience, until you can get to a point where you can actually start selling high ticket. When I say high ticket, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 deals I've sold on a single Zoom call, 30 to 40 minutes. You can ask Jesse about this. He's done the same. So that's what we're looking to do here. Okay. Jesse, thank you, brother, for hopping on the call. I just want you to tell the people, man, what were you doing before you found me, and like basically how'd you find me?
Yeah, so I was working as a software engineer at the time at Amazon, and they wanted me to. They were trying to kill all remote roles and whatnot, and they wanted me to move to New York. I didn't want to do that. I value my freedom. I value my ability to kind of travel around, do what I want. And I saw what you were doing on Instagram and saw the money that you were making. It was pretty decent compared to. It was just compared to a lot of internet money stuff I saw out there. It didn't seem like it was a crazy high startup. So I got in contact with you and flew out to San Diego so you could teach me.
Right, cool, cool, cool. And why did you choose to do high ticket closing as opposed to all the other things out there to make money online?
In the stage that I was at, I know a lot of I've kind of dabbled around internet money stuff for a while, just like paid attention to it with from the sides, and all of it just has a much longer like startup time. A lot of it has startup costs. From what it seemed like this was something that I could learn and jump into without having to dump much of money into it, and I could also learn quickly because in my situation I was on a time crunch because Amazon wanted me to they were killing remote roles and I basically had a few months to basically figure out a new position or I had to just pick up everything and move to New York and
Okay,
lose the freedom that I had that I valued. So
got you, got you. So
time
when you
frame.
saw when you saw what I was doing, Jesse, what was it ultimately that like when you're like, okay, fine, I need to do this. Like this is essential. I need to like basically learn this stuff.
It was time and freedom, bro. It was the fact that you were able to. I mean, you were living on a boat at the time, and you were traveling around. I know, I'd seen you being in Tulum sometime prior. I don't know how long ago that was, but you were kind of living there, and I was living wherever I was living.
What was your experience, man, working with me? Obviously, you went through the training the first few weeks, but like walk us through that process. Like if someone has never even heard about hot ticket closing, what was that process like? What was the time frame on that? How fast until you were making money? What would that look like for you?
Yeah, bro. Actually, real quick, back on that last question. One of the things I did, it wasn't just location freedom, it was also just time zone freedom because working for a company, even though I was remote at the time, I was still tied to a time zone. I couldn't go and like work from Brazil. I couldn't go work from a different country because I'd have to have these crazy hours. So one of the things that was drawing was the fact that I could kind of choose my own schedule, adjust my
Mhm.
time zone, just like have more freedom.
Sure,
As far as
sure.
that question, what it looked like early on, I mean, dude, I straight up, flew to San Diego. I told you, I was like, yo, if you teach me this stuff, I'll fly to San Diego tomorrow, basically, and come shadow you. So I just kind of came and watched what you were doing, and the process seemed super easy. You woke up, you went to a hotel lobby, took your calls, and it seemed like a pretty easy process. So I just yeah, I mean, it was pretty smooth to learn it. Uh,
Having no sales background previously, Jesse, was it tough for you to learn how to become, good at sales closing, would you say?
uh, no, I mean, at the end of the day, like every new skill has a learning curve. So, obviously there was a bit to learn to jump into, but it took me 2 months. No sales experience. It took me 2 months to get to a point where I was on an offer. So at the end of the day, like it's just a matter of putting the time into it.
What was the most helpful thing about having me as your mentor and just working with me?
Well, I mean, your dedication to the people that are under you is obvious, man. You clearly care about the people that you work with doing well. And then also just watching your calls, watching your live calls was super helpful, and being with other people, being able to hop on mock calls and just like mock through things.
What kind of money can guys make doing this, like realistically, man? And what were kind of the numbers like for you when you first started making some real bread doing this?
So for me, the first offer that I got onto was a good offer. It was a real estate offer. From the time I started training, like learning this stuff, to the time I got an offer was about 2 months. And then my first 4 weeks on that offer, I made about, I was like, what was it, like 4 to 6, somewhere like 4 to 6 grand. My first 6 weeks, by the time 6 weeks had passed, I made about 10 grand. And I was taking, at the time, I had 4 call slots a day. So I was taking, probably like a 50 to 75% show rate. I was working maybe 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day.
Amazing, amazing. What did that like? How that make you feel? Was that surprising to you when you started making that kind of money right off the bat? Like, how did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I closed my first 2 calls that I ever took, which felt super good. Obviously, that felt like a huge win.
Mm,
But I was still working at Amazon at the time, so I was doing. It was the nice thing for me was to be able to like do this at the same time I was working at Amazon. I didn't have to just like leave Amazon, jump into this full time. I could do the closing part time while
mhm.
I was working at Amazon, and do both of them for long enough to get proof of concept, to where by the time that I left Amazon, I already had been making a bunch of money from closing, and I knew that it worked, and I could adjust my schedule however I wanted. So I was able
Amazing,
to kind of do both. It was a smooth transition.
amazing, amazing. And are you doing it now? You're doing and now you're doing this full time, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I stopped working at Amazon probably about 6 months ago. So now I'm basically doing closing full time. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. What would you say to somebody that's looking to get started in this? Maybe kind of curious about high ticket closing. Maybe they're on the fence of jumping and doing something like this. What would you say to them?
I mean, it depends on why they're on the fence, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, certain things are gonna work for certain people. It depends on what they're looking for. If people want something, if people are looking to get into like the internet money space, I genuinely don't see a better segue into it because a lot of the other things in this space, like the whole internet entrepreneur space, a lot of things take more time and more startup capital to get into. If this is something you're looking to like, if people want freedom, if they want to dip their feet into this, into just that whole domain, like closing, in my experience, is the best way to do that. Because especially if you get on an offer in something you're interested in, you can learn it without having to pay for, whatever mentorship, things like that. You can get into it that way. You can get around, rub shoulders with people in the space that are doing well in different domains. So it depends on why people are on the fence, man. A lot of times people get stuck in analysis paralysis and people need to just, be willing to take action, and risk takers are history makers.
What do you think is the biggest nice, bro. What do you think is the biggest thing that maybe why people fail trying something new or trying something like this? What would you think would be something that would hold someone back?
Yeah, definitely limiting beliefs, man. People don't realize how much their beliefs affect their reality, and they people encounter a little bit of failure and they give up. Like people might come into this, they might try to get an offer, maybe that one offer doesn't go well, and then they kind of give up. So on top of closing, man, like I do a lot of different things. Like I'm doing e-commerce as well on the side because I always like to have a bunch of things I'm doing on the side. In that space, dude, it took me like 7 or 8 different products in order until I was finally successful. Right? Things you don't often just hit it right off the bat, and a lot of people expect that, and when that doesn't happen, they just want to give up.
It's true, it's true. But that's what's beautiful about closing is something you can do and then pursue a passion like e-commerce or side dream or whatever it might be. And it's
Yeah.
something that you can very easily leverage your time, not put a ton of time in and be able to still make pretty good money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So if people come in, they try to get an offer, that offer sucks and they don't do well. Sometimes people they just want to give up after that, but it's important to just kind of keep going, try a different one, give yourself a certain time frame of how long you want to dedicate to this before you make a decision.
amazing, amazing. What do you think is realistic for someone that's never done sales at all, to maybe getting to a point where they're able to, start closing a couple first deals? What do you think is a realistic time frame for them to be able to learn and actually get on an offer and start making money?
Depends how much time you put into it. I mean, I was putting in probably about 2 to 3 hours a day when I first did it. Like I was putting in a good bit of time, but I was also working full time. So me working full time, I was able to learn and then get on an offer within 2 months. Maybe that's faster than some other people able to do it. I don't know. But I think realistically, like I think it's reasonable for somebody to say if they dedicate to this, then within 6 months they should be able to make anywhere from 5 to 10K a month, doing this full time. Um, I think that's pretty reasonable. I did it in 2 months. I think it's reasonable somebody could be able to do it in 6 months if they're moving slower.
Very slow, like worst case. Yeah. 'Cause I like to always be realistic, right? But yeah, that was great, Jesse. Thank you for answering some of those questions, brother. Is there any last piece of words of advice or maybe anything you want to share with everybody before we jump?
Yeah, I mean it depends what people are looking for out of life. Like some people want a more lower kind of more safe life. Some people value comfort more. That's fine if that's what people are looking for. But if people want to be able to kind of live outside the box and be able to pursue non-traditional forms of income, because there's just a lot out there, a lot of crazy things you can do. I never liked being stuck in a box. I've always valued my freedom more than anything else. And if that's something that you value, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and you have to be willing to take risks, and you have to take chances on yourself. And for me, coming from the corporate world, making a lot of money, jumping into this, I value my freedom more than anything else, and it's worked out for me so far. And I'm just gonna continue on my journey. You know what I mean?
Amazing, bro. Amazing. Thank you, Jesse, bro. Appreciate you, dog.
Sure, man.
See you later. You have to remember, guys, there's two parts to this. You have to be good at sales, first of all. You have to be a highly skilled closer, and then you need to get connected with the right high profile client to sell for them in a partnership. Okay. Where is the prospect? Where do they want to be? Can you get them there, and do they want to make a change? 4 pillars, very important. If all those line up, we can actually help them. We're guiding these people to make a decision to overcome their own limiting beliefs. That's all we're doing. In the call, end-to-end call, you're setting the frame, you're speaking to them, you're understanding where they're at, discovering, asking discovery questions. You're building a gap, their pain, what's their pleasure, what's the situation they're in now, what's the ideal outcome of where they want to be. Can you help them bridge that gap? Very important. Do you come off as sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and an authority figure in the space within the first 4 to 5 seconds of the call? Okay. All these need to be in place. And then we tell them how we can help them. And then at the end, we provide the solution. And then we ask for the close. Do they want to make a change? Do they want to change their life? It's amazing because we have an opportunity to really help them overcome their own fears to change the potential trajectory of the rest of their life. Most of the time, humans don't want to make a change in life. That's human nature. So there's going to be objections. That's normal. How do we overcome objections? How do we overcome those objections, right? Most of the time, it's either going to be fear, money, or logistics. One of those three is going to be the main objection. Most of the time, they're going to say lots of things, smoke screens. I want to think about it. I want to talk to my wife, etc., etc. At the root of it, it's always going to be fear, money, or logistics. How do we overcome that? How do we absorb the objection? How do we always agree? We never push back. We agree with them. That's totally fine. I hear you. I understand. And then we loop the question. What is it exactly you feel that's still coming up for you that's making you have those hesitations or whatever it might be? Okay. And then we overcome that. We loop them, and then we get them to have a belief shift so that they can make a change in their own life. All right. So it's very important the way that we do this. If you guys got some value from this and you're interested in learning more and you made it to the end of this video, okay, I'm assuming you're looking to find out more about this and you want to be mentored by either Jesse or myself, I want you to reach out to me on Instagram. Send me a message. Send me the word Jesse, Jesse, and we'll sort it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up 5 spots in my private mentorship for people from this video. I'm opening up 5 spots from this video that I will personally mentor, teach you this, as I've taught Jesse. Once those 5 spots are gone, they're gone. I'm not opening up any more spots after that. I'm keeping it small. I am going to do a special bonus for you guys. If you come from this video and you DM me the word Jesse, I'm going to do a special bonus either with myself or Jesse. We're going to do a 1-to-1 extra role play mock call, okay, where we will go through an entire end-to-end call. How exactly does that whole process work with a completely new prospect? How do we overcome that? How do we help them? How do we ask them questions to get them to think and then close the deal at the end? You will learn how to talk to anyone from any background and close any type of deal and any ticket price, 3, 4, 5, 10K, 15K plus, and make a lot of money doing it at the same time as being able to impact a lot of people. So if that's you, if that's something you're interested in, DM me and let's chat. That's all I got for you guys. Peace out.